You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is your NXT update for Wednesday, April 18th, 2018. It is the first official NXT after TakeOver New Orleans. We're back in Full Sail. We're back in the swing of things. The show, of course, began with a graphic honoring the memory of the late, great Bruno Sammartino, a man who, in my opinion, is the greatest champion in WWE history. May he rest in peace. I did get to meet him in Atlanta at WrestleMania 27 weekend. I remember thinking it was a bit of a travesty that he had no line, and thus I was able to walk up unimpeded. At the same time, I'm happy there was no line because I got to talk to him, for probably 5 to 10 minutes uninterrupted. He's just a great man, a nice guy to talk to. May rest in peace. He had a nice, long, full, fulfilling life. Alrighty. So the show kicked off with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae coming to the ring. This is Gargano's first appearance since getting his job back by beating Tommaso Ciampa in a legit 5-star match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. The fans were thrilled to see him back as Gargano got goosebumps from the reaction received. Going into TakeOver, he dreamt of returning to NXT. For too long, he was defined by Tommaso Ciampa, his former best friend, who broke his heart, cost him the NXT title, and stole his career. For the longest time, Gargano couldn't even say his name or get past him. But after the most intense 37 minutes he's ever spent in a professional wrestling ring, he has his life back and is back where he belongs. He thanked the fans for always having his back and thanked Candice for being with him these last few months. He said he loved her so much, and then announced that they have one last piece of unfinished business. Candice took the mic and said that she'll be handling that unfinished business tonight when she goes one-on-one with Zelina Vega. Gargano said that if Andrade Cien Almas tries to get involved, he'll drop Almas like his name was Tommaso Ciampa. After the match, after they get past Almas and Vega tonight, Gargano says that he will be Aleister Black's first challenger, which the fans approved of. And this segment actually broke from tradition, as normally after an NXT title change, the next taped show opens with the new NXT champion coming to the ring for a promo. The only exception I can think of was when Sami Zayn won the belt due to the storyline injury he got by Kevin Owens. Killian Dain did a backstage promo saying he's going to take everything from Lars Sullivan. He'll have no backup and will bring the chaos alone tonight. Mauro Ranallo and Percy Watson were on commentary and gave a shout out to Nigel McGuinness, who was home with his significant other and their newborn baby. And it was time for the NXT TV in-ring debut of the one and only Ricochet, as he took on Fabian Aichner. In a weird coincidence, Mauro spent the entire match comparing Aichner to Bruno Sammartino, and it is a coincidence since the commentary is pre-taped. Aichner did look good here, and it wasn't just because he was in with one of the best. Sure, that helped, but Aichner did pretty damn good on his own. He sells pretty well. His offense looked good. However, in spite of that, this match was all about the former Prince Puma. Ricochet used a 619, a springboard European uppercut, and a standing shooting star press that Aichner kicked out of. The finish saw Aichner go for a superplex, but Ricochet knocked him off the top rope and hit the 630 for the pin. Caleb Braxton asked Ricochet what it was like to debut here at Full Sail. He said it was great to be in a place where a lot of WWE superstars made their names, referencing Bayley, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins. However, it is now his turn. He came to NXT to prove that there is one and only, and that's him. We had an EC3 video package, followed by Lars Sullivan building up his no disqualification match against Killian Dain tonight. And then we had the debut of War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe, taking on the team of KC and Chris. Now, KC and Chris are the 2018 version of Deuce and Domino. I bet you didn't think you needed that, did you? Anyway, these two greasers stood no chance, and their only offense, which was one chop, was completely no-sold. Hanson did a cartwheel, and one of them came off the ropes, which popped the crowd. One of them got a double-team pop-up power slam, and the other one was pinned after the fallout. Earlier this week, Shayna Baszler arrived late to a women's team meeting, declaring she is going to set the rules. She took over the meeting, ripping down the tape over Ember Moon's locker and taking it over. One of the girls walked out of the meeting instead of listening to Shayna's diatribe, where she said that this is now her locker room. Kona Reeves is re-debuting, this time with a push. Earlier today, Pete Dunne flew all the way from England to the Performance Center in Orlando and announced that he'll be back in a couple of weeks to rip Roderick Strong's head off. Now, everyone knows that multiple episodes of this show are taped well in advance. However, theoretically, you're supposed to believe Pete Dunne flew all the way from England to Orlando just to say that he'll be back in a few weeks before going all the way back from Orlando to England. This is one of those times when a crappy cell phone promo video taped from England, quote-unquote, would have sufficed. Instead, he looks like the biggest idiot in the world. No disqualification match time. Killian Dain of Sanity versus Lars Sullivan. 2 weeks ago, you might recall, these two behemoths squared off in a match that ended when EC3, Ricochet, Adam Cole, and Velveteen Dream all ran to the ring to stare at each other. Dusty Rhodes would have loved to commentate this match, just to holler about all the clubbering going on here. Killian went for a suicide dive, and before I could make a sarcastic comment about Lars catching him like he did to two of his much smaller foes at TakeOver, Lars caught him. Lars caught him out of midair and rammed him into the ring post. Yes, folks, that happened. And that's not even the wackiest moment of the show, or of the match, actually. Lars further showed off his strength with a pair of suplees, one the normal kind outside the ring, and one a German inside the ring. Lars hit his diving headbutt for a 2 count. At some point, he smashed Killian's nose. I don't believe it was the headbutt, because I'm pretty sure the headbutt just landed to the chest, stomach, arm area. It might have been his arm or something, who knows. But anyway, Dain was wearing the crimson mustache for most of this match. Dain started his comeback when Lars was choking him with a chair. He hit the Wasteland, Senton, and Vader Bomb, but was frustrated when Sullivan didn't just stay down. Then we got another weird, zany spot. Sullivan put a chair across Dain before flying off with a diving headbutt. Unfortunately for Lars, Dain moved out of the way, so Lars crashed into the chair. Now, I don't want to point out major faults or major flaws or anything with this, but wouldn't that have hurt Lars the same way, even if he would have succeeded with that move? Anywho, a table was set up in the corner, and Dain went for the divide twice. Once Lars caught him, and once it actually worked, and they went through the table. At this point, Killian set Lars up for the Van Terminator. Yep, I need you to stop doing what you're doing, because, sometimes, this is on in the background where you're doing whatever, and re-listen to what I'm telling you. 350-ish pound Killian Dain dragged Lars Sullivan to the corner, placed a steel chair in front of his face, and then he went to the opposite corner and climbed to the top rope to attempt a Van Terminator. Unfortunately for everyone, Lars cut him off before he could even attempt it, and then pinned the SmackDown-bound superstar with a freak accident onto a chair. Okay then. Undisputed Era was wandering around backstage and took promos with all their championship gold. They will be in Full Sail live next week. Not only that, Adam Cole will defend the NXT North American Championship for the first time ever on television as he goes one-on-one with Oney Lorcan. And it was main event time. Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, the acknowledged in-ring NXT TV debuts for both ladies. Please do not tweet me, Facebook me, MySpace me, email me, send me a smoke signal or a telegram telling me that both of them have wrestled on NXT TV before. I am aware of this. They've both been used as jobbers before they got signed or pushed. Both ladies are on the short side, and the referee, the female referee, Kennedy Brink, towered over both competitors, especially Zelina. Andrade Cien almost interfered 30 seconds into the match to distract Candice, so Johnny Gargano ran down to glare at the former champion. You might recall he said that he would treat him like he would treat Tommaso Ciampa, so now we know what he really wants to do to Tommaso Ciampa, and that's just glare at him from across the ring. This was a short match, but it was fine. It was far from the best women's match we've ever seen on NXT, but trust me, it's far from the worst. Vega used the double knees in the corner, but Candice got out of the hammerlock DDT and hit a missile dropkick for a near fall. Candice locked on the Gargano escape. Almas ran in, but Gargano cut him off and put Almas in the Gargano escape. Both tapped, and Candice was officially declared the winner. After the match, Gargano officially challenged Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Black came out on stage and accepted the challenge for next week. So yes, next week, it's Gargano versus Black for the NXT title. And until then, I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 7 days.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.